The first step in the process is to check the firmware. So press General Settings, then press System, then press Information, then press System again, and that will display our firmware. The next step is to check on the Tascam website to see if your version is lower than the current version. You need to update. On your computer, open your browser of choice and navigate to teak-global.com. I'll put a link down in the description. From there, select the language that is appropriate to you. So for me, it's UK English. This will open the appropriate Tascam site. Select your product, in our case the Tascam Portacapture X8, which will show the download section. Select System Software Firmware, and then from within there select the latest firmware download. Once that file's downloaded, we move on to the next step. For the firmware update, we need to make sure that we're using a memory card that has been formatted in the device itself. So start by putting in your memory card. Then we switch the device on. Navigate to General Settings, System, then scroll to the bottom, click on Media Format, and then choose between Quick Format or Erase Format. If the card has previously been used, Quick Format will be fine. I prefer the extra secure method of doing the Erase Format. So click on that, click OK on the dialog that comes up, and then just let it do its thing. Once the format is complete, we use the USB cable to connect our Tascam Portacapture X8 to our computer. As you can see, the little icon in the top right hand corner shows that it's connected. To actually connect as a SD card reader, we need to scroll round on the main menu to SD card reader. Click on that, and that will now connect to our computer. If you have a look at your file system on your computer, you will see a directory called, or a folder called X8. Now we copy the file that we downloaded into the utility folder on the X8 SD card. Once that's copied, we eject the SD card and disconnect it on the Tascam. To update the firmware, switch off the device, make sure you have USB power so that you don't run out of power during the update, then press and hold the home and record key while switching on the device. Leave the home and record buttons held until you see the update screen. On the update screen, it will show you the current firmware setting. You press the mark key, it will then show you the firmware version that it's going to. Press the mark key again and it will start the process. Then we just leave it doing its thing. Once the update has complete, the device will switch itself off. So switch it back on, and we need to check that the firmware has indeed updated. So press General Settings, System, Information, System again, and there we can see our firmware has indeed updated. Now that the firmware has been updated, we have no need for the firmware file, and to make sure that we don't accidentally update the firmware again, we should get rid of that. Two ways to do this. First way is to navigate to the format screen again and format the card. To do that, we just go to General Settings, System, Media Format, and just choose Quick Format and let it do its thing. The other approach is to connect it back to your computer using the SD card reader mode and open up your file system and delete the firmware file. Either way works. Okay, that's all done. We're back to the start. Our firmware is updated. Our card is formatted, fresh, ready to start recording. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.